Hi, my name's Yasmin Evans and I am very honoured to be teaming up with National Eczema Society ahead of National Eczema Week 2021. So my first memory of having eczema goes all the way back to play school, and I had a really bad case of water blisters, which is one of the effects of having eczema, and I wasn't able to play in the sandpit with the other kids, and ever since then it's just been me trying to manage this skin condition. It was something that I knew very well because my family have a lot of experience with skin problems, and eczema being probably the most common within my family. And so I just thought it was something that I would have to deal with, and I just kind of cope with it. It was not anything that I felt like would ever change. I really thought this was it and this was how my skin was going to be for life, until I sort of made a huge lifestyle change around 5 years ago. And I started to learn more about my body. I mean, when I was a kid, I was told by my doctor that I'd grow out of it by 12. And, you know, when it got to starting high school at 12, 13, and I remember just having huge rashes behind my knees and having to wear a short skirt, and you know, I did just get on with it, although the pain was a lot and sometimes excruciating. Like I said, it was all I ever knew. I was very lucky to have great support from my family. I did rely on a lot of creams and a lot of steroid creams to help me manage it, because for me at that time, it felt like that was the only way out. Unfortunately, because I used those creams quite often, especially in the summer months where, you know, you're hot and sweaty and you're just more inclined to produce, you know, like heat rashes, or, you know, because you sweat, the bacteria spreads, a vicious cycle. So I would use steroid creams quite a bit. And in the summer months, which is when my eczema is at its worst, I would just lather on steroid creams, and that would thin out my skin, which then, as my skin got better, it would get worse again. I was left with a lot of scarring, and so I decided to completely stop using steroid creams. And then my skin fell into TSW. So TSW is topic steroid withdrawal, and a lot of people do say that it looks like eczema and you should treat it like eczema, but it is something completely different. And so my skin was basically craving the creams and the steroids that I was giving it, and it was not reacting well. So I went through that, which is another thing that I have experienced because of eczema. And I had that around about the time that I was just getting into my career. I was doing a kids TV show where I'd be in a hot studio, and, you know, I couldn't wear long sleeves, and I had eczema on my eyes and my face. And at the time, because I was so stressed out, I went through a huge reaction of adult acne. And that was when my self-confidence just completely crumbled, because I had always dealt with eczema. You know, people would say like, oh, what's wrong with your arm? Or what's that? What's happened? And I just go, oh, it's eczema. You know, it wasn't something that I was ashamed of until I was out of control, because I just felt like I didn't know myself. I didn't know my body. I was emotionally drained by it. It felt like it was never ending. And I really had to make the decision to find out what I needed to do to fix it. I started to meet people that really suffered badly from eczema. A friend of mine suffered badly with eczema, which led to him having vitiligo, something that I never knew. And I then started to ask more questions, do more research, and then found out that a lot of people suffer from eczema and they don't speak about it. Because it's not a matter of life or death, I really feel like we kind of deal with it, and, you know, we're just sort of like, it's not going to kill me, people are worse off, let's just let it go, I know how to manage it. And we kind of put off, you know, we take our car for an MOT more than we take our body for an MOT. And so I decided to just know why my skin was reacting this way. And I read a lot about the skin and gut health, and the gut being the second brain, and your skin is just the last thing to react. And I made a huge lifestyle change. I changed my diet. I took a blood test. I started to find out what I'm intolerant to. And I stopped ignoring the things that would affect me, whether that be products that I use, food that I eat, liquids that I drink. Rather than me going, oh, I know that's going to affect me, but I can deal with it, I just had to say, no, it's not worth the hassle, because it takes a while for the body to recover. And that was one of the major things for me, was to change what I was putting into my body in hopes to change what was on the outside. I think that would be my top tip, was to listen to your body, know what your body needs, know what it doesn't need. I think we know that, and we try to not really sort of engage in that or identify it, because I know there's a lot of things that people don't want to give up, and that's fine, that's fair enough. But I think if you don't want to give up that, you are bound to have a sort of a reaction. Or if you don't want to give it up, try and find something that works for you where you can balance it out. I just felt like I lost complete control over my body, and that was the one thing that really broke me. I've suffered years of scars, sleepless nights. My wrists have bled. I've had to go to sleep with gloves on and socks over my hands so I don't itch. I have scalded my arms because heat and hot water really kind of stops me from getting obsessive with my itching. I would find corners of the sofa or rough material, and I would just scratch until my arms bled. And the only thing that would stop me from scratching was scalding my arms. So whatever I was doing, I was harming myself and hurting myself because I was literally out of control, and it just needed to stop. So yes, I still deal with eczema to this day, but it is nothing compared to what I used to. And I really hope that my story helps. I hope that we can all sort of figure out what our body needs, because that feeling of not being in control is something that I just don't want to feel, and I wouldn't want anyone else to feel. So I'm offering my support. Thank you so much to National Eczema Society for allowing me to speak about my experiences, and I like I say, I really hope this helps. What works for me may not work for you. I always say this: every body, every person is different, but if something can help you understand what your body needs and to help you gain that control back, I hope you find it. All right, take care.